Okay, I call this regular council meeting to order. And could we have a certification of a quorum, please?
Yes, sir. Mayor Jason Knight,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Place 4 J.R. Haskins,
Here.
Councilmember Place 1 Ruth Camarillo Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Place 2 Elise Chacon,
Here.
Councilmember Place 3 Luana Lulu Martin.
Here.
Mayor, there's a quorum of the council present to conduct this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now would everyone please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Dear Lord, we gather in gratitude to serve our community. May wisdom and respect guide our discussions, and may a spirit of cooperation inform our decisions as we work together for the well-being of all who call this city home. In your guiding presence, we proceed with purpose and goodwill. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now we're going to move into announcements.
There's only one announcement today, Mayor. The next free transfer station day is scheduled for January 10th from 8:30 to 4:30, and that is for residents only. The hours are again 8:30 to 4:30 at the transfer station located at 800 West Myrtle. This initiative is part of the city's new quarterly free day program. So this is the second free day at the transfer station.
Okay.
We have pushed it out on social media. I've included information on the January monthly newsletter. We'll push it out again this week, since it will be this coming Saturday.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, now move into citizens' comments. Anyone wish to speak?
My name is Annie Roberts. I live at 751 South 11th Street here in Aransas Pass. And I have a problem with cats. I have a neighbor, she multiplies cats. I mean, the cats just, and I done called the city and they said they have what they call catch and release. And they talks about the spade and the neutering, and I talk about the fleas and the ticks, because she has so many cats. I paid a lot of money. I retired, and I paid a lot of money for this, what they call carpet grass. And I had coastal material to bring in sandy lawn, and I planted this grass. And she had got sick, and she had moved away. And when she moved with her sisters, when she had got sick, well, her sisters got rid of all of her cats. She had like 50 cats at that time. And I called myself catching them, and I was working, and I catch them, and I said, golly, they look like the same cat. And then the animal control admitted to me that they catches them, and they spade them, and they neuter them, and then they clips their ears, so they'll know that they have picked them up. I said, well, the spade and the neutering is not the problem. It's the fleas and the ticks. And when you walk out of the house, sometimes you get ticks all on you. And fleas, I walk outside now, and I have to put down this poison to try to get rid of all the, I'm not talking about regular ants. I know we got a problem on the fire ants. But this is something that's in the ground. We used to call it red bugs years ago. You'll walk outside and they bite you like mosquitoes. You have a bite all the way up to your chest. And I told them, that's the problem. And she told me today, she says, well, you need to bring it up with the city council and ask them when they spray for mosquitoes. And she told me, anyway, she didn't solve my problem. And she won't do anything about it. The girl had so many cats years ago when I was working. I had one in my engine. It had got wrapped around the fan belt, because that's when we had that snow, not in 2002. Recently, before 2020, we had a snow, and I was working out here at the Bechtel, and this cat got it wrapped around the fan belt, and Keith had to take it out. Cost me $300 and some. I had to replace the fan belt, plus I had to pay for the cat. And I asked her, they didn't offer to give me a dime for it. Now she's accumulating them again after she done moved back home. And you walk, I drive up in my driveway, I get up in the morning, God, my yard is covered with cats. I counted over 15 cats.
Ma'am, no, your 3 minutes is up, but could you give me your physical address again?
751 South 11th Street in
Okay.
Aransas Pass. I hope you all can do something with her and these cats and stop catching and releasing them because of the flea and tick. And we do have a tick problem here in South Texas, and it will kill you.
Okay.
It's bad as going outside and getting bit by a rattlesnake.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. My name is Brad Coleman. I'm a builder and developer since late 70s, and I've owned property both in this county and Aransas County. And there was a subdivision platted back in 1921, and it's bordered by Myrtle and 13th Street, where y'all had a fire 2 years ago that burned quite a bit of the brush out there, and you had to cut 2 roads in 12th Street and Myrtle in order to put the fire out. Well, I had bought some lots and I never was able to get to them, but now I've got lots on 11th Street and 12th Street. And I want to see livable homes, affordable homes. And I'm talking about 1 and 2 bedroom homes, because there are a lot of retired couples. There's a lot of single people, both widowers and widows and divorced people, and they don't need a 1,000 square foot house. They can get by with a bedroom and a bath and a half and a kitchen and a living area, and that only requires a couple of 100 feet. And you have ordinance on the books, as I'm told, that requires 1,000 square foot. Some of the lots are only 25 foot wide that they planted back in 1921. And people are going to start moving out of their houses and abandoning them because they can't afford the electricity, the water, and everything else, the insurance. And I'm willing to work on the infrastructure, drill water wells, have septic tanks out there so that the city will not have any expense or very little expense, and people could have affordable homes. And this year is really going to make a mark, as you've seen it in this town and I've seen it, and we need to do something about it. And that could be something that could be, ordinance could be amended, that it's a minimum of 200 square feet. And you know, most people build 400 or 500, but the thing is, they need to be able to build what they can afford and have what they can afford. And I want to accomplish that. I have 3 subdivisions that I'm interested in. The one here in Aransas County, the old Dignawoody subdivision, Aransas Harbor, part of Aransas Harbor, back in 1894.
Well, sir,
And no one did anything to the property until I started buying it.
Okay, sir, your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
Mary, can you get his information, please?
Yes, I've got his
You've got
contact
his
number and I've got his name.
information? Okay.
Yeah.
I've spoken here a couple of times,
Yeah.
and people are willing to sell me their lots for the taxes owed because they don't have any infrastructure and can't
Yep.
even get to their property,
Yep.
as I couldn't until the fire.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Can you let them know, Jason?
Carol Salinas, Aransas Pass, and I want to agree with Mrs. Roberts. I apparently live in a neighborhood probably a block from her on South 11th Street, and I've talked to animal control. Yes, the spay neutering is great. I'm glad of that. The notched ears to see, but then they turn them loose and they bring them right back and release them in the same area that they picked them up from. And my dog, they drive my dogs crazy. They jump up and down on a chain link fence. I've had a dog rip a nail out because trying to get to the cats that are across on the other side. My dogs are on medicine to avoid fleas and ticks. I've gotten ticks on my dogs because walking over with these cats are laying and they're having kittens and I can't find them. They get under the brush, and I'm not sure what the answer is, but I don't think just spaying, neutering, releasing them in the same area is it. So I agree with her. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. Mary, is there anything we can do with the cats? Or, like, I don't know, is there a solution at all, or something we can work towards?
I believe, and I'll defer to our police chief, but I believe that's the way the ordinance is written. If we wanted to change that, we would have to amend the ordinance.
Okay. I might need to. Okay.
Hello, my name is Katie Singleton, and I live at 103 Amberjack Drive. We've been a resident for nearly 5 years and have seen quite a growth in the last 5 years. And I head up one of the organization that we mentor kids, but most importantly, we head up an organization that walk alongside the school district to improve graduation rates, allow the kids to go to college. A lot of our students are first-time college graduates, and what I've seen around here and what I've observed is that this is such an incredible town, but it lacks attention to the students. We lived in a neighborhood where when students have free time, they break in without mentorship. And I would like to partner up with the city and the city school board, and just to make the kids look good, but the city look better, where we can recruit more people to come and live within the city because of our education, right?
Mhm.
Right now, it's sad, but we're looking at a D rating, and I think we can do better than that. I think we can't do it all. We can't solve all the problems, but we can partner up with successful organizations such as Foundation for Choice. It's consider how one person can make a change. We've been doing it for Dallas ISD for the last 12 years. We have minimum budget, minimum resource, but great impact. A lot of our students have gone on to, Yale, Harvard, Stanford, all the Ivy Leagues, but they've also gone to trade schools. But what's important is they come back to the community and make a difference. And I think if you would give us some time, I would love to talk to the city council. I would love to talk to the Aransas Pass ISD to see how we can start implementing our program for next year to improve our D rating. I think we can do better for our students. And I've seen some incredible, listening to the community, listening to, the kids. They just want to afford to go to college, and they need someone to help mentor them. And that's what Foundation for Choice can do, is give parents and schools and cities help fill in that gap for the students so they can be successful. If the students are successful, our community are successful. 'Cause what can we do other than leave a better legacy? We need to leave things better than how we have found them. And that's in our next generation. And I would like the city and the school board to focus more on the next generation. That's it.
Thank you.
Kate.
Thank you.
Hello, Council. Larissa Rios, 1044 South Commercial. I just wanted to add on to what this young lady was saying. That may be something that the Crime Control Board could contribute to. I do know, Ms. Carroll, we might be able to do something with that. If you want to join us on Thursday, is it Thursday the 8th? I know it's the 8th, but I'll get back to you. But I did want to say the Crime Prevention Board would definitely be interested in working with you on something like that. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Larissa.
Thank you. Larissa.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? Oh, let her rip.
Good evening. Does anybody know what this is?
It's a Muppet.
You good topic. My name is Richard Gonzalez. I live at 119 Denny Pat Lane. I've been in this community since 1998, and part of my lifetime work is because I live in Aransas Pass. I'm here to ask for the city's help. I run a nonprofit organization called the Science of Spanish Club Network. We're an after-school program that targets grades 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 5 through 12 when we need to. And I am in a need for 4th, and 5th grade today from APISD. I've fallen into this opportunity because the 29th annual Whooping Crane Festival in Port Aransas will be held on February 18th through the 22nd. And our program has tried to bring other celebrate things that we can celebrate with the Whooping Crane. But this year their city convention center is under construction, and there's no room for the vendors. So we are proposing to them that they could consider the Civic Center as a place to do their trade fair and just bus people back and forth. But they don't want to share. So that just opens up the gate of opportunity for me. What we have before us is as soon as I found out, I booked the Rialto Theater February 19th and 20th. We are going to provide socks and materials to make these puppets for the 4th and 5th graders at Charlie Marshall. We're working through the art teacher who understands these things better than most people. And she's on board. And that was the last missing link that I needed to present to you today. We would like your support in pulling off the first Whoopit show at the Rialto Theater. Heather Henson, who is the daughter of Jim Henson, as in Muppets, has been coming to the Whooping Crane Festival for over 15 years, and because she was fascinated how humans use puppetry to figure out how to spark the reproduction cycle for the whooping cranes. So Dr. Archibald has done that, and here we are years later in 2025, and there's no room to expand the Whooping Crane Festival in Port Aransas, so we want to take it off the island. Off island, like off Broadway. If you don't want me on Broadway, okay, we'll do it off Broadway. If you don't want us on the island, you want to keep all that attitude, okay, well, we're going to do this. There's a map in City Hall here, I think in the city manager's office, that shows the McCampbell Slough as the future annex of the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge. So why would somebody have that knowledge to put that on a printed map if there weren't whooping cranes here historically? Before development, before Humboldt, before everything, the whooping cranes were wintering here in Aransas Pass and McCampbell Slough and Port Bay and other places, but development has forced them up.
Okay.
So
your
I
time.
would look forward to talking to your people to apply for the funding. We are going to start it with it's a world premiere event, so I'll go into more detail later when there's more time.
Do me a favor, send me a message, and that way I can give your contact information to the city manager.
Okay, yes. Thank
All
you,
right.
Mary, by the way, also for getting the ordinance changed.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? Okay, now we're gonna go into staff reports and other discussion items.
We have one discussion item, and that is the sip and stroll ordinance. Before you open up the discussion, there are two minor changes to the draft ordinance. Oh, I'm sorry, let me just say that Councilmember Martin has filed a conflict of interest form where she will not be participating in the discussion.
Okay.
So that's just for the record. Okay, so there are two minor changes that are being recommended for the draft ordinance. The first one is on item 310, where it speaks to the containers. It doesn't state a size, so what we're recommending is that the container be 12 ounces or less. And if you flip back to the next page, where it speaks to the operation of hours, we still want to stay with the Monday through Sunday, but instead of 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., we're wanting to recommend that those hours be from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Mr. Garza, our Director of Development Services, is here today to speak on some of the key points of the ordinance.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor Council. So the purpose of this ordinance is to promote local businesses, tourism, and community activity within designated areas of the city. The designated area would be South Commercial Street, starting at Wheeler to, I believe it was going to be Greenwood, and basically just that area. This isn't going to be the Wild West. It's not going to be free for all for everybody. They do have to register with the city. This will be regulated. The last thing that we want is glass all over the place, people all over the place.
Yep.
So that will be regulated. Glass containers are going to be prohibited under this ordinance. Every business that wishes to be involved with this ordinance will have to register with the city. They will have to have a sign up on their business. They have every right not to participate. Businesses that will be serving alcohol or, selling it, they will have to be licensed with TABC, of course. The only thing that is allowed in this ordinance is beer and wine to be brought out in public. Hard liquor is a hard no. Like Mary touched on, the change of time will be 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I think
The smaller size of container, the smaller
and the
containers.
size of containers, yes.
Joseph, does this include the intersecting streets? Because I think that was an important part of it, is making sure that those businesses that are on the intersecting streets are not excluded from the sip and stroll.
That is a good question. I know in the, I don't have the main area on me at the moment, but I know it did state
The intersecting streets as well.
Streets
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, connecting to
street.
South Commercial.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay.
So I need to make sure if it's just the block itself or what exactly that entails. And if we do need to be more specific, absolutely, we'll have to
And
get more
just to be
specific.
clear, it's a pilot project. It's gonna have its hiccups. But
Exactly.
that's the whole point, is doing it and seeing how it's working.
Exactly. This isn't
what
going to be
needs to
set
be
in
done.
stone. It's
No.
not going to be set in stone right off the bat. This will be on a trial basis at first. We will
Mm-hmm.
see what works, what doesn't work.
How
If
long
the
is
whole
the
thing
trial
needs
basis?
to be
1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
And like I said, we'll see what works, what doesn't work. If the whole thing needs to be scrapped, the whole thing needs to be scrapped. If it works well
Absolutely.
for the city, then good for the city.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to look at any of the ordinances from the other cities? I know Navasota, Fredericksburg, Green,
I have
Bernie,
looked at Green,
any.
Fredericksburg, and I believe one more. I forgot which one it was, but it is pretty similar.
Pretty similar to what we
here.
have. Okay.
Yes.
I guess you can open up for
Yeah.
discussion. I don't have any more
Does
questions. Do you have any
anybody in the
questions?
audience have anything to say for or against this?
Carol Salinas, Aransas Pass. I lived in a town that did something similar to this several years ago, and I was in a position to speak with several business owners. They said it did not help and it did cause problems. I'm against it. I don't see that it's going to benefit us in any way. Plastic containers instead of glass, okay, that's good. It's not going to cut your feet, but it's going to blow around. It just, every
There's-
business, I assume, that does not want to have people drinking in their clothing boutique or whatever would, I assume, have to put a sign out. And I assume TABC would have to approve each business specifically. These are just a lot of questions I have for the monitoring of this ordinance and provision. And like I said, I'm not in favor of it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Carol.
Just so you know, everyone will still have to follow TABC laws and permitting, and any business that doesn't want it, they'll just have a sign that says no outside food or drinks allowed in or out. Some businesses already just have that in general if they're worried about someone walking in. And I think also to address for the trash, that if any business is participating, they'll have a trash can out for it. And then the businesses, though, there are businesses, say we have a boutique that was out there, and which is what we're hoping is that this will help bring in other businesses, is that if they want to serve, they don't have to necessarily sell. They may just be serving a glass of wine inside while people are shopping and looking at clothes, but they can still leave with that glass and then walk to the next store as long as that store also allows it. But they would not ever be allowed to walk into, like if they have a glass of wine, they couldn't then walk into Pook's or Commercial Street because they sell alcohol, and that's against TABC. So it's nothing, we're not going to be taking alcohol in and out of places that sell alcohol. Like, I mean, it'll go out, but it can't go back into another place.
Okay, and that's good to know. That
Yeah,
was
so
one
it's
concern.
not good, it's
But
not
as far as
encouraging.
trash cans, we have trash cans, and we have clean up Aransas Pass Beautiful that say,
Yeah.
will, I think, tell you that they don't
I
always
don't
get
see
used.
this as being I mean, that's why it'll be trial, but I really don't think right now, like even the businesses we don't have a ton. It's really just to help encourage and show that as a city, we are so open to businesses and we're trying to generate foot traffic and just make it friendly. We want to encourage businesses to come in, and a lot of men don't like to shop, so they'd love to sit out on a bench and drink a beer while their wives are inside shopping, and we're like, do it, because if they're having a beer, they don't care what their wife is spending. The wife is having a glass of wine, they don't care what they're spending. That's kind of what we're trying to encourage. We're not trying to encourage like, hey, let's party.
And
You
I
know?
like what you're saying, and
So
I
I
also
think,
don't
I'm
think
hoping
it's-
that's where it goes.
I don't think it's publicized that it is on one-year trial basis.
Yeah, I think that the
I
whole
haven't
ordinance was
seen
on there,
that.
but it may not have been
It's
seen.
probably on the city website.
Yeah.
It's on the city website.
Well,
You'd
and
have
you
to go
might
on
want
there.
to go to the Facebook page where the people tend to.
Yes,
look.
ma'am.
I go to both, but
Yes, ma'am.
Facebook.
I
page
saw
is-
it somewhere, but everything gets
Yeah.
But the
swallowed up.
year, the
so.
time limit, I like that. I'm still not in favor of it, but I do like the time.
Yeah,
limit.
and we're definitely not encouraging, like, it's not a party in the streets. Streets aren't getting shut down. We're not, honestly, right now, it would take you 10 minutes to walk all downtown. People aren't going to they won't even be able to finish one drink. You know what I mean? So we're hoping, though, eventually.
I hope that's right.
Yeah, so eventually what we're hoping is that it just encourages businesses and shows that we want that foot traffic, and we want to make it easy, and we want businesses to come in, and we want people to not just stop at one business, but walk to different businesses and visit all of downtown.
Well, and I'm not putting down Aransas Pass. I love it here, or I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I've been to Fredericksburg, been up and down the street, but they've got different types of businesses that when you're walking down the street with a drink, beer, whatever, that walking into these business, it's a different type of businesses, and if it works, great. I'm glad the 1-year time period,
Yes,
but I
ma'am.
just don't like it.
I understand. Thank you,
Thank you,
though.
Carol.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Council. I am Crystal Gotro, owner of Pook's Pub, and I just want to begin with, I am the owner of Pook's Pub, I am downtown, but this ordinance would really do little for my business. I don't even open until 3 o'clock, and we are a late-night bar. That is not news to anyone. But I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to support of the proposed Sip and Stroll District for downtown Aransas Pass, a tool that has been successfully used in many Texas communities to revitalize struggling downtowns, attract new businesses, and increase foot traffic, all while remaining fully compliant with the state alcohol laws. The concept is simple and controlled, designating a limited number of downtown blocks between 11 and 6 where patrons may walk between participating businesses with beer or wine served in clearly marked district-approved cups indicating where the alcohol was purchased. This is not a bar district. This is not bar hopping. This is not a relaxation of TABC rules. What it is a strategic economic development tool. Sip and Stroll districts work because they encourage people to stay longer downtown, to browse, to shop, to dine, and to discover businesses that might otherwise pass. They create an atmosphere where retail boutiques, art spaces, coffee shops, and restaurants can thrive, not just bars. Downtown revitalization does not happen all at once. It happens when small incentives create momentum, and Sip and Stroll has proven to be one of those incentives in towns very much like ours. I did go on Facebook and see some of the concerns, and one of the concerns was increased police patrols and intoxication. This concern is understandable, but it's important to clarify that TABC rules do not change. Participating businesses are fully responsible for not over-serving. Violations can carry the same penalties they do today. Sip and stroll cups are limited in size and clearly marked, and I'm assuming they're going to be disposable. Hours end at 6 p.m., well before late night bar activity typically occurs. Other Texas cities using sip and stroll districts have not experienced spikes in public intoxication because accountability remains firmly in place, and I did look that fact up. This ordinance does not remove responsibility, it reinforces it. There was another concern that we had way too many bars downtown in the 80s. That's history is important to acknowledge, but the comparison isn't accurate. Bars do not typically operate from 11 to 6. Maybe one does. And this proposal is not designed to create new bars. In fact, sip and strolls districts tend to do the opposite. They attract retail shops, boutiques, specialty stores, art and gift shops, restaurants with limited alcohol service. These are businesses that rely heavily on foot traffic, not late night alcohol sales. The ordinance supports diversification, not repetition of the past. Another concern was downtown building cleanup should come first. Cleanup is absolutely important, but revitalization and cleanup are not sequential, they are connected. In creating a sip and stroll district increases the demand for downtown space. It gives property owners financial incentive to improve their buildings, makes vacant buildings more attractive to lease or sell, and it encourages reinvestment without forcing it through regulation alone. Economic activity motivates improvement faster than enforcement ever will. The concern about added trash downtown. Participating businesses would be required to provide outdoor receptacles. Cups are controlled and identifiable. Other cities have shown that increased foot traffic does not equal unmanaged litter. And yes, personal responsibility still matters, and you gotta learn to clean up your stuff. We already manage trash during events and busy weekends. There's no difference now, and the economic upside far outweighs the minimal added burden. Another concern was that this replaces other ideas downtown. Sip and stroll does not replace other revitalization efforts. It's a tool, not the only tool. Downtown success requires events, cleanup, business incentives, public-private cooperation, and yes, creative ordinances that encourage people to show up. Sip and stroll works alongside those efforts, not instead of them. So at the core, it's about exposure, opportunity, and momentum. And I would like y'all to consider adding the property where Hook and Ladder is, just because I think that that would be beneficial for somebody in the future who wants to move there.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you. That was
Crystal.
great. Thank you.
Would that be, that's included in the side street,
Yeah,
right?
because that
Okay.
would be Joseph addressing the intersecting roads, and that's an intersecting road.
Perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
Hi, Jay Thompson. I came in here not a big fan, I'll admit it. Crystal's talk was great. Pook's Pub is a great business. Where'd she go? Thank you. Great, by the way. My concern initially, the first thing that came in my head when I heard about this was, what's the potential liability for the city? And I understand that people aren't going to be walking downtown drinking tequila out of a bottle from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., but there will be people drinking, and drinking can lead to stupid things happening, like drunk driving, someone hitting somebody in the intersection. So it seems to me, I'm not a lawyer, like that's introduces some potential liability to the city. That's my biggest concern. Crystal's presentation was great. It answered a lot of my other concerns, but I think, I assume, and I hope that the city has at least looked into the liability aspect of it. That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that, but honestly, if my wife were shopping downtown and she got hit by someone that had been drinking, I would probably consider talking to a lawyer and see if I had a lawsuit against the city, which sort of enables the behavior. Again, I don't know if I even have a case, but I don't know, it's just a concern, that's all.
I hear your concern.
You know,
I think it falls on the TABC
Well,
laws,
And-
which
and
would be
you're
the
right.
same places.
The liability does fall on the business, but this is a new program for the city. And we don't know what kind of challenges we're gonna have as we
Yeah.
start. I did have a conversation with our police chief this morning about increased patrol. We are going to increase our visibility during the hours, and I guess as we'll have to deal with it and look at what kind of challenges we have with the program.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary.
My only other thought was, the trial period is great. I think something like this needs a trial period. It's interesting to me that it's 7 hours a day, 30 days a month. So it's going to be, the Sip and Stroll is going to be open for
Yeah, we
210 hours a month. Fredericksburg, for example, is First Friday, one day. It's not just First Friday.
No, it's all the
That's
time.
everything I've heard on there.
Yeah, no, it's all the time.
Citywide.
Citywide.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
They don't
it's-
even
you
have
can
an
walk
ordinance
10
saying-
blocks and be drinking.
It just seems like a fairly lengthy trial period for a year.
If there are issues and we're 3 months in and we're like, whoa, we were not expecting this, we'll just cut it then. We don't have to wait the 10 months. We can come back into a meeting and say, we're nixing this.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
true.
going to be a slow. It's going to be a slow
Yeah.
I don't. You're initially.
I don't
it's
think you're gonna
really
see
just to get the
anything.
businesses,
Yeah, and
interested
I don't
and
think
getting
people are
out
gonna
there.
flood down
No,
either.
no, it's not going to
And
happen
that's
like
true,
that.
Jay, if the council does support it, and if something goes.
Yeah, if
we
something
could-
goes haywire and
we
we're
could
like,
pull the
we're
plug a
seeing
week
way
later.
too much trash,
And
or we're
that-
seeing way too much
Yeah.
just.
And that was one of, I mean, the suggestions y'all had on Facebook is one of the reasons, Mary discussed, and the time was limited down to 11 to 6, and then
Yeah,
the cup
I think
size
that was
is
a
a
good
smaller
move.
cup size.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I looked up Sugarland, and they do it from 7 in the morning to 2:15 a.m. That's
Yeah,
really
Sugarland's got a big,
Yeah.
yeah,
From
yeah.
dark to, it's crazy.
Crystal,
Yeah.
you want to open up at 7?
Thanks, Jay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Good evening. I'm Karen Gale. I live at 1750 West Johnson Avenue, Aransas Pass. I am a prior business owner in this town. As many of you know, I served on the city council for a number of years. I was mayor for a while. I'm currently secretary and treasurer of the Rotary Club. I serve as chairman of the board of the Aransas Pass Municipal Development District, and I serve on the board of the Coastal Bend Foundation. So this city is very important to me, and how we present ourselves is also very important to me. I do have some questions and concerns regarding the Sip and Stroll item. Fortunately, many of them have been dispelled listening to the people ahead of me, but I do have some concerns I would like to express. And pardon me for this, allergies are terrible this time of the year. If I understood the previous speakers correctly, the objective of this Sip and Stroll is to draw more businesses and more people to the downtown area. That bothers me because I don't like the thought that we're using alcohol to bring more people and more businesses into our town. I would like for us to be able to entice them with something else besides the alcohol. In my serving on the council, I was involved in what was referenced earlier, and that was the problems with the drinking downtown. When I was younger, it was not safe for any child or any woman to be downtown. It didn't matter what time of the day it was, because there was a lot of harassment going on. And of course, there was extra trash and more requirements for police presence. My questions are, who is sponsoring this? Who's going to be responsible for the upfront costs? I know the businesses have to get their own TABC license. That's already been brought out. But the city itself is going to have to be policing the area. They're going to have extra people down there for cleanup. Trash cans in front of businesses are wonderful. Throw it at the trash can, bounces right out, it's on the ground. Nobody goes back to pick it up. So I think that there's going to be more issues with
Are you talking about littering, like the littering on the sidewalks and things like that? I did discuss with Jason, should that become an issue, that we could look at doing more of a cleanup downtown and having some specific things in place if that becomes a problem, as far as the littering. We definitely want to keep it,
Well,
know.
And I'm sure that you do. I mean, it's your town too. I just wanted to say that I anticipate it's going to be a problem because I've lived through this, not this specific project, but I've lived through this type of thing before. And I am pleased to hear that it's going to be a trial, and that, as she mentioned, if things are not working out, the first month, second month, third month, sixth month, whatever, then it's going to be dispensed with. I think there will be, as previously reference there's going to be a liability issue down there for a lot of reasons. Somebody's walking, they trip and fall. Is it because they're a little tipsy, or is it because they spilled their drink? Is it because somebody came out of a business with a drink and weren't paying attention? No. Where is the liability truly going to fall? And there are going to be instances where it's going to fall back on the city, and we have enough issues with liability without that. I'm hearing that apparently there's someone at the city level is setting up the guidelines for this whole process. I didn't quite catch whether there's a board or a group of people who are looking at having the guidelines for how this is going to work. I heard a few things from Mary tonight, but to me, there should be specific guidelines all the way down that are furnished not only to the Aransas Pass people, but to all the businesses who may or may not choose to participate in it. I'm interested to know that if this is going to be any kind of a fundraiser for the city, or will the city be able to glean any profit from this whatsoever, or you're just using it as an enticement to bring in new businesses? And I have a concern with the type of new businesses it's going to bring in. I have done a little research about other sip and stroll cities, or other cities that allow sip and stroll, and the emphasis in my research was that they're used as fundraisers for the city or the chamber or the Rotary Club or some other nonprofit, and there's an event that's scheduled, same guidelines as what y'all have, but it's for a period of time on 1 or 2 days, which can be repetitive. It can be a monthly event. Most of what I found out, they would have some kind of a big event once or twice a year, which I think is probably a wonderful idea, because then you would have all of that concentrated in a short period of time. It would bring in income, and the problems that would be presented would be the same problems as y'all are going to be looking at anyway. They'll not be any different. To repeat myself, unsupervised drinking on Commercial Street or on Loop 90, which is the same area, of course, can take us back to where we were pre-1990, when there were people. Of course, at that time, they were not allowed to walk up down the streets with a drink, but there's plenty of people out in the area drinking, and it just wasn't safe. So I thank y'all for the time, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Karen.
And I guess that's another thing, because I know a couple council members been working on this, and I'm surprised nobody else brought this up, but if this ordinance passes, this is actually a form of regulation, because there's nothing on the books currently that says you can't walk from Stapp Street to Walmart and not drink beer. There's nothing saying you can't do it. And what this will do, this will actually put a type of regulation.
And this doesn't
downtown.
encourage more. This isn't going to be like all of a sudden now there's going to be 15 bars downtown. It really encourages more businesses and different types of businesses to come in. It doesn't make any difference whether we have a sip and stroll. That's not going to make a bar want to come downtown. If a bar wants to be downtown, they're already going to be looking at that area just because of the area being downtown. I don't think the sip and stroll that's not going to entice a bar at all. Really, this is going to entice other foot traffic type businesses to come in. And so I don't think this is going to be anything. I don't think this is going to make us go backwards in time at all. And
I just wanted to speak to that really quick. Yeah, a bar is not going to come for the couple of bucks that you can make from 10 to 6.
No.
That's not what that's for. For some to-go beer and wine.
It's
we
not
make
worth
our
your
money on
employee
liquor.
time to
Right.
open up.
And not only that, but the trash. I understand the trash concern. When I first opened down in Pooks, there still is, but there's always trash, and it's not from our bar, it's not from the business, it's because there's a mix of residential and commercial that's downtown. So the people that go to HEB or go to Stripes and they live upstairs or they live in some of the other buildings, they throw it everywhere, they don't care. So it's not, as a responsible business owner, I'm gonna clean it up because I want my storefront to look nice, and I don't want people to blame us. But the trash is not from the businesses, and it's not, it's from the residential
Yeah,
stuff.
and
that's
we'll
going
know
on
if
there.
it's from that because they'll either have cups that say the business name or they'll have a sticker that was put on it, like whatever. I mean, it'll show like, hey, all these are coming from wherever or from the Sip and Stroll, and we'll go, okay, we need to look at some kind of either different ways to dispose of trash, or we'll figure, we'll work on that if that's an issue.
I agree.
My name's Teresa Lidberg, and I'm the owner of Mama T's Food Truck, and I live on North Houston here in Aransas Pass. I'm for the Sip and Stroll. I think that it's a great opportunity to go ahead and get entice other businesses to come down here, but also it's like, I don't drink, but my boyfriend does, but it'd be really nice for him to be able to, I feel like I'm not holding him hostage whenever I'm taking him into one of the stores, so I can shop and he can maybe sit outside or whatever
People
and have
watch.
a drink and people watch, but when it comes to the liability issue, some people have to take responsibility for their own actions. We can't be babysitters all the time. I mean, that can go for any restaurant or bar, wherever, not just this town. They have to be responsible for how much they're drinking, but also for, just like TABC says, we have to be, the servers have to be responsible for over-serving as well. Let me see, like in Fredericksburg, that one night that he's talking about is an industry night, and they actually, one night out of the month, they actually, instead of closing down at 6 p.m., they stay open till 8 p.m. and to encourage people that actually work at the restaurants and at the places down there, so they actually get to leave their job to go go shopping down there. People that are into the industry know that normally when at 6 o'clock, I'm most of the time I'm just getting off of work, but and it's not the era whenever Golf King used to be down here. We're not the Hilltop Bar, the Continental Cowboy, all that other stuff. It's just right now we have a different clientele of people that are coming to the area, and I think if we can get them to take, if they want to have a drink, even those small little cups or whatever, and walk around, why not try it? And like they say, it is a pilot program, so in 12 months we don't like it, hey, trash it, but at least try.
Right.
Why not give it a shot? Give it a, why not? It's just
Right.
So that's just my say on it. I like the idea and I'm for it, and I hope that it comes to fruition. So
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Teresa.
Mama T.
Hey guys, my name is Nestor Angel. I own Texas Pride Sports Bar and Grill and San Juan Restaurant and Cantina. I just wanted to say that I have no skin in the game. I don't have a business down there, nor do I plan on having one down there. It hasn't been attractive to me. I've had opportunities to open a business down there several times, and it's not attractive to me because there's no parking. There's not enough parking for me. So, and I do restaurants, not necessarily just bars. But I am for things that will bring tourism here. I want this town to grow, and I want more tax dollars to come into this place. I want this town, I want our schools to be better. I want our streets to be better. I want everything else to be better. And the only way to do that is to bring tourism here. We can focus on refineries and all these other things and bring in tax dollars, but I don't think that's the way that we want to do it here. I think we want tourism here. And this is something that would bring in a lot of customers. So
I agree.
want you guys to consider that.
Okay.
Thank you.
As far as these being like bars back in the 80s or 70s, things have really changed with TABC and
And the
rules
laws.
and being able to drink the way they used to drink
Yeah.
and drive, and it's not the same thing. We as business owners have to be very careful not to overserve. Our bartenders and servers have to be very careful not to overserve. It's just a much different game from back in the day.
Okay.
But thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Nestor.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Nestor.
your input.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Donovan Bennett. I've been a resident of the community for about 12 to 13 years. I do want to say I'm very proud of the city council for actually having an open mind to look at opportunities to grow. This community is a gem that has been basically buried for years. You're at a crossroads of 3 major communities, 4 and 5 if you count a little bit further out. People pass through here every day. They pass us by. They don't stop. If there's an opportunity for somebody to come out here, just as it's been said, have a drink while the wife's inside shopping, or bringing new businesses in who want to offer opportunities for maybe a beer, maybe a glass of wine while they're getting their nails done or their hair done, those are opportunities. Boutiques that come in here. We have to give these guys some tools, as it's been said earlier, tools. And I like the fact that it is a trial and a pilot program. You know, as you guys know, a lot of people that know me know I'm very active in trying to help promote our town. Our town is starving to death for tax dollars. We're starving to death for programs to help elevate the opportunities that our school programs can have. And, you know, tax dollars help generate those things.
Right.
They help pay for a lot of those things. And if it brings businesses in here, if it brings our town above subpar, it's not even par, it's subpar.
Agree.
You know, is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it's fair.
You know, I think we need to try it. You know, I think it's a great opportunity, and I appreciate everybody in the city council for actually having the open mind to listen, to hear what the community has to say. That's been one of the problems we've had with the city council for decades that I know of. They hear us, but they don't listen. At least thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
Hi,
Good
Will.
evening. I'm here tonight because I generally love the sip and stroll ordinance. Whoever came up with this, if people walk around downtown with a drink that serves a medal, a handshake, and maybe even a lifetime supplies of those city-approved cups. This is the kind of thing that says Lorenzo's Pass is ready to have a good time responsibly and preferably inside the dotted lines. Sip and Stroll has the real potential to boost our local businesses. It's basically adult trick-or-treating. You stroll around, stop at places you've never noticed before, and suddenly you're buying snacks, souvenirs, and a t-shirt you absolutely don't need, but somehow desperately want. I also give Lorenzo's Pass a personality upgrade. A little flair, a little spark, a little hey, look at us. We're not just a place you pass through on the way to Port A. Because let's be honest, for too long people have treated us like the warm-up act before the beach. Sip and Stroll ordinance to chance to show that we're a destination too. And if we're going to give this a real test, I feel like we need to extend the hours 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Times keep changing. If we want to attract businesses, we have to be willing to change with them. Ending it too early makes it feel less like sip and stroll and more like sip and hurry up before it ends. Let people enjoy the evening. Let the businesses benefit from the dinner crowd. Let the program naturally show what it can do. Now, I promise I'd keep this positive, and I will. I only have one tiny concern. Just one. Trash. We're giving people special cups, which is great, but these cups need somewhere to go when people are done with them. And if we don't plan ahead, Sip and Stroll will become ship and scatter, and nobody wants downtown looking like a plastic cup crime scene. So here's my suggestion. Let's borrow a page from The Happiest Place on Earth and use the Walt Disney trash can rule. Disney figured out that people will throw trash away if you give them a place to do it. So they put out a trash can every 25 to 30 steps. That's it. That's the magic. And the good news, outdoor decorative themed trash cans average about 100 to 150 each. That's a small investment for a cleaner, more attractive downtown, and a whole lot cheaper than hiring someone to these cups down Commercial Street like they're tumbleweeds. Everything else, the concept, the goal, the vibe, I'm all in. Sip and Stroll can bring life to downtown, support our businesses, and give our Lorenzo's Pass the kind of energy that makes people say, hey, we should come back here. Let's just make sure we keep it clean enough and long enough that we're proud to show it off. Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Thank you, Will.
Good evening. My name is Leroy Terrio. I'm a resident here in the Lorenzo's Pass. My statement is not prepared, but it's not going to be a popular one. This is a bad idea. So, as a former chemical dependency counselor and 24 years in EMS, all you got to do is look at the trauma statistics. Go online. I'm sure Chief is well aware that it doesn't end well when you promote alcohol consumption, especially in public, especially during work days and on the Lord's Day on Sunday. As a father, as a pastor, and as a husband, this is a bad idea. And I can tell you from growing up in the city of New Orleans and the land of public drinking, Even if you have those plastic cups, there's no promises that there's beer and wine in there. Anybody can go get a plastic cups from any one of the establishments, put a sticker on it, and then put tequila, whiskey, whatever they got in there. And so I understand that you want to attract businesses here. I want businesses to come here. But I'm going to close with this. I'm going to leave you with what was talked about prior to this coming up, and that was programs for children. What message are we sending to our children as mothers, as fathers, as governing officials who have who have control over the city's direction, that you are going to promote alcohol consumption in your streets, on your main thoroughfare, and be known for that? What message are you sending? Lord be with you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pastor. I just have 3 questions. 1, how are you going to measure the success of the program? What type of metrics will you be using? And then how will you deal with the lack of parking if you're going to push forward with this? And 3rd, what are your future expansion plans?
I think that the parking's going to be the same regardless of whether there's a sip and stroll or not. If businesses come in, if that's going to be the same. At some point, we will have to probably, well, hopefully, we will look at additional parking lots, which we already have some ideas in mind, and we already have allotted spaces for that. We also have allotted spaces, hopefully for this program to go, to put a public restroom, that kind of thing. We're not going to look at any of those right now because there's no need for it. The growth isn't there. But if the growth comes, we will definitely address those issues, and we do have plans in place for
And
them.
as council members, Elise and I have discussed taking personal accountability as council to ensure that, you know, there is trash cleanup, to see what's needed, to actually monitor it often.
Yeah.
And see what's going on down
And if
there.
it's something we need to, you know, address and put our own city cans down there, then we'll look at that. We don't want this to be a negative experience for downtown, and if it is, we'll nix it. It's
Right.
Hopefully it really is just to grow the businesses, to show that we're ready to be a friendly environment, that we want walking traffic downtown.
A lot of the times, people go outside of Aransas and go spend those tax dollars. They go to things like this. They go to Green, they go to Bernie, they go, and I know we're a long ways away from that, but our hope is that in 4, 5, 6 years that's changed for us, and we
have people that are
something.
coming into town and say, "Oh, let's stop downtown.
Yeah.
Let's go," like just like you do in Rockport. Rockport wasn't always. People used to come to Aransas Pass before they went to Rockport back in the day. People used to come here and didn't go to Port Aransas.
And if you go to
but they built the
Rockport's
cities,
downtown,
and they
right.
gave tourists somewhere to go. They gave the public somewhere to go. We just want there to be. It to show that we want people here. We want businesses here. We want the town to be clean, and we want it to be attractive, and there's still always going to be a personal responsibility. There is nothing. This doesn't encourage anyone that wouldn't go have to a restaurant and have a drink. They actually may have less because they will be walking around as opposed to just sitting at a table drinking. It's not it's from, what do we say, 11 to 6 p.m. It's not the hours that where people are just coming to go slam shots. And that's not to say that someone's not going to go somewhere and drink during those. But me personally, I've had more confrontation from people in restaurants that were drinking than I've ever had from any of the bars here in town. And
And we actually
that's
discussed maybe having Mary, someone in the city, reaching out to these communities that have mastered these programs to let them know, like, hey, this is what we're doing. Do you have any suggestions, or is there anything that you think we could add to make it a safer, more enjoyable thing for our tourists in our community to actually
and we
be able
looked,
to use?
but I just didn't find anything showing that it increased any kind of harm. That the communities that do participate in this, I didn't find anything, and maybe it's out there, or maybe there's just nothing out there to show it. But I didn't find that there's more accidents because of it, or people getting hurt, or drinking and driving issues, but I don't know if those stats even exist. But I couldn't find anything on that.
Yeah. We are reaching out to other cities that have these programs to find out what kind of challenges they have and how they dealt with it. But I do want to address the keeping the downtown area clean. We are working on a plan. I mean, to look at that on a daily basis. Just like we clean the harbor.
Kind of like a Parks and Rec
Yes,
type
and we do that on a
downtown.
regular basis
Nice.
every day. We're looking at a plan similar to that
Okay.
plan for the downtown area once this program goes into effect, if that is the consensus of the
I
council.
mean, we're not just gonna, it's not gonna be a free-for-all. We want it, it's a trial because we wanna see if it works.
Right.
If it doesn't work, and if it causes problems, or we see an increase in arrests or public intoxications or whatever, we'll come back to the table and either make changes or we'll get rid of it altogether.
Doug Goyer, Rances Pass. I just want you all to know that I'm neither for nor against this. I just have some concerns and questions. A lot of them have been addressed with the trash, the litter. I help Clean Green every month go out and pick up the trash. And we see a lot of it, a lot of alcohol, just bottles just thrown everywhere. But as long as there's enough place for people to put the trash, I'll be all right with it as long as it don't get out of hand. My other main concern is that is a good night in commercial is a high traffic corner. I mean, are we going to reduce the speed limit down, either one of those, just a little bit to kind of slow people down driving down those roads, or we're just going to leave it at 30 and hope for the best?
I think I think TxDOT controls those.
It does.
But I
Yeah.
don't think, have we ever had any issues when we've
No,
had the
and I wanna
festivals
say
with
it's the
those
same.
intersections?
But during the festivals, most of those intersections are
Closed off.
But I mean, we
So-
usually isn't usually when we have festivals, oh my gosh, what is that? The one that goes in front of HEB.
Good Night.
Good Night. Good Night's usually still always open, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, and that people are crossing there. Have we ever had, I mean, I'm just not.
We
refuting,
did,
I
we
just wanna
did
know.
actually, I did actually
have we ever
ask
had
Chief
any
Perkins
issues?
about the protected light, because we don't have a protected light there. And
Oh, yeah, we did
And
talk about
that, is it a high accident area? I don't know. I know when I'm
It's
there.
a high accident area, just in general.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I know when I was stopped and trying to turn, there was a car also trying to turn. Well, there was a car behind him that just wanted to go around because he was waiting. And luckily I just waited, but there
Yeah.
would have been a
I
potential
mean, all those
accident
really
there.
need to have
There's no
a turn light.
There's no
Yeah.
protected
Act,
turn
but
there.
I agree with you on that, 100%.
And also, does it have to be 7 days a week? Can we just maybe start out on a Saturday, see how it does Saturdays, and then build up to more? I mean, it's just a thought. I mean,
Yeah.
because
I mean,
I know
that's what tonight
Saturdays
is
would
all about
probably be
open
the busiest
discussion.
day
Yeah,
downtown.
well,
we do
and
it
those,
Thursday
and
through
those,
Sunday,
well, those
or-
businesses.
I don't know, something.
Yeah, but those businesses may not even be open on those days, so it might not even matter. It's only if they're open. Some of those businesses may be closed anyway.
So I was
Yeah,
just-
depending on their hours.
I just, like I said, has thoughts and concerns.
Okay.
No, I think those
Thank
are,
you.
Thanks, Doug.
those are valid, thank you.
Could you come up here?
Yeah,
Bill?
come on, Ben.
Sorry. Sorry, it's because they can't hear you. They're on YouTube, they can't hear you.
Just to add to it, you know, the problem with trying to do 1 or 2 days is you don't really get a effectiveness or a type of matrix to measure against.
Right.
And we're wanting to bring business every day.
If you have a flurry, as the chief is going to find, if there is a flurry of any type of incidents that are increased, but you don't have a whole lot of foot traffic, there's no real matrix there.
Right.
But if you have, 7 days a week and we see that there's minimal change, then you have something to really measure against. And you have to give those businesses an opportunity to actually gauge their own success.
Agree.
And I think it's an open-minded process, and I do agree that there's a lot of concerns, a lot of citizens here. Everybody's point is very valid.
Agree.
And as long as we, as a community, consider those concerns and we try to address them the best we can, we still have to have that open mind to try and accept new things. And that's one of the things that, in my opinion, the time I've lived here that's been killing this community is not being able to accept change. We have to evolve, or they always say if you're not growing, you're dying. In our community, our populations are diminishing, our school attendance is diminishing. These are just all things that are leading predecessors, and we have to have an open mind and find a way to increase our community, increase our growth, increase our foot traffic, get our businesses back in here, and start supporting the tax dollars that we need to grow as a town or city. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So
I think everyone has very valid
Yeah.
things to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Appreciate
got
that.
some really good comments today, which is the reason for this discussion. The next step in the process would be for us to hold.
We have one more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys, one more comment. Larissa Rios. I just want to put it on the record. I hate to drive. I don't like driving, but I have a very substantially large group of girlfriends, and we like to go a few times a month. We go to Rockport. We love to go to Rockport, and we love to go down that district, and we have a few cocktails at the bars, but we like to walk down there and see what's going on. And I would love to stay in Aransas Pass. I want my money to be in Aransas Pass.
Me too.
So I think this is a great start, and I'm really excited to see it grow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Larissa.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
So the next step would be for us to hold a public hearing. That would be at a later future meeting. We will send out notices to all the business owners within the downtown area. Because we want as much community input as possible, I would like to recommend to the council that we do a 2-reading ordinance rather than a 1-reading ordinance.
I'm good with it.
And that would be just, like I said, just to receive as much community input on this program.
Yeah, I
That'd be
agree
great.
with that.
And by then, we get some more input from the other cities that are doing this as well.
Exactly.
And seeing
Mhm. What kind of challenges
what
they
kind of
have.
challenges there may
Is-
be.
Who would, and this isn't even just because of this, but there is a lot of accidents right there at Goodnight and Commercial. Is there something we can do with TxDOT to see if we can't make each direction have turn only? Because
Protected lights.
for
yeah.
protected lights?
We
Protected
could look
turns.
into that.
I mean, just something we
Uh-huh.
could look into. I think that would be, that would also help ease some minds if,
Okay.
Mhm.
I think that's the worst intersection in it, but I think
It's
that's
already
regardless. I
busy.
mean, right now,
Right.
it's the worst intersection.
Right.
I've
It
seen a lot
is.
of accidents there.
Could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Sir.
I appreciate you guys taking your time on this. If you are to do some studies, I beg you don't rely on studies from Bernie or Fredericksburg or places that are that developed. I would ask you to look at cities that match our demographics and our current business potential, because that matters. That's all.
You're right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Victoria Rivera. I live here in Aransas, about 3 years now. Love this idea. Totally love it. Totally for it. Beeville, he was talking about demographics. Beeville does one ever so often. So if y'all want to start there, start there.
Thank you.
To see their demographics.
Okay.
Because I go to Beeville to that one, and I promise you, having a glass of wine and shopping while my husband's having a beer, it's perfect. 'cause
I
we're in
didn't know they
different
did
directions.
it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have wineries there now, and
Wow.
they even have a distillery there, and they've got all sorts of stuff. going
Beeville's
on.
got it going on.
Yeah, Beeville's got it
AP's
going on.
behind the time.
Yes.
Who knew?
Wow.
So I will tell you. Also, littering. I also work with the state and know enough about probation and parole and everything else to tell you that Aransas County can use their probationers for community service to do some of that cleanup if it's something
True.
we need
Thank
to.
you. We're looking
True.
into that.
So yeah. So just suggestions.
All right.
Thank you for that.
ma'am.
Good suggestion.
Okay, is anybody else wish to speak on this item?
I really want to say something.
Sure, go ahead. Come on.
You want us to relocate the cats downtown?
Cats. Now I'm thinking about, if you had it blocked off like you do when you have the Mardi Gras and all that, that's great. But I haven't heard nan soul say anything about the ferry. I used to work for the ferry, and I remember this guy, he made a right-hand turn, and he ran over a guy, and then he backed over the guy. And during spring break and during 4th of July, we have so much traffic coming from that ferry. So whatever you all is planning about public intoxication and no stores to really shop in downtown like they do, they have little, C stores like you go into Rockport, you walk downtown and doing that. They do have these bars. But, they have little stores that you can go in and buy knickknacks and different things. Now, if Aransas Pass had something like that, or, just like they did away with the harbor and tore Gulf King down and all of that. I know they supposed to be bringing in, commercial fishing, individual boats. But if they could put stores down there where you can have scenery.
That's the plan.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what we're working on.
Downtown with all that traffic from the ferry, you all really need to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not lying, I really worked at the ferry, and I mean, during 4th of July, the traffic is horrible, and then you got HEB
Well, maybe they'll stop here then
and
and not
public
go to Port A.
intoxication.
Not go to the ferry.
Public intoxication is not fun. I don't care. 2 drinks, a man is drunk. And they crazy.
Thank you.
And I hate to see the city get sued for a store, and you all talking about trash. Trash is the alcohol.
Dwayne,
Thank you, ma'am.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a statement on my behalf, reference to all this. I've been sitting here listening to everybody, the pros and the cons and the ins and the outs. I was in law enforcement for 32 years. I know what you're talking about, and I know what that other gentleman's talking about. My position on this is going to be, I don't care about I do care about this, but if we're going to do it, I hope that we reconsider and do maybe 5-ounce class for beer and only a 12-ounce glass for beer and only a 5-ounce glass for wine. Because 12 ounces of wine is worse than 12 ounces of beer.
So you're saying nobody's going to serve a 12-ounce glass of wine unless someone's ordering 2 glasses of
You
wine.
guys are putting it at 5 ounces, so it doesn't matter. I mean,
No.
this is just my position on it.
Oh, put it like in the writing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crystal, how many ounces is a wine pour? 4 ounces? 6 ounces? I don't even know.
I think it's around 4 or 5. I don't drink wine.
Yeah. I do, but I don't measure.
But
I don't
are y'all
drink
going to
much
also
either.
allow wine-based frozen drinks? Because I know that that's a big
If,
thing.
if it's
Yeah.
wine, yes.
So
if
like
it's
a
a
wine-based
wine-based,
frozen drink would have very small content of wine. It would be more of the mix. So
We still want the 8 ounce.
right, you would have to at least if it's going to be a wine pour, which there is.
because it's more sugar.
Right. So if you give somebody a frozen drink and you give me a 4-ounce frozen drink, I'd be kind of irritated.
Yeah, and
Well,
wherever anyone's going to sell, they're not going to pour a heavy
Crystal, I'm
wine
talking
pour,
about
'cause
straight
it's-
bottles of wine. I'm
Right.
not talking about
But so they
wine-based
would.
mixes.
There is a specific wine pour. So when y'all do your ordinance, when you
It's just
can
a wine.
specify that a wine pour would be in
Yeah.
a wine.
I don't think that. I mean, we can specify, but I don't think anyone's going to over pour on wine because restaurants know exactly.
It could even be in the,
They-
y'all want it to be designated, but yeah.
Yeah, they have their
there
cups,
is a
and they're not
wine
gonna
pour,
wanna
and
overserve
it's
it
just
'cause
like
then they're
Mr.
wasting
Haskins said,
money.
It's like 4 ounces.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do a heavy wine pour because.
You got it on the book, so I think.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what
we can
Randy's
do whatever
talking
y'all want
about.
on that. I don't care.
If you have a 12-ounce cup,
Yeah.
I think what Councilman Haskins is referring
You
to
could put
is
3 glasses in
is
it
the
or something.
percentage of alcohol in, say, an ounce of wine versus an ounce of beer.
Oh, I see what you're
so
saying.
on and so
Yeah.
forth, right? So,
I'm fine on that, yeah.
12 ounces. So I got a 12-ounce cup.
Right, 12 ounces
Well,
of beer.
I
is
go and I
different
buy 2 portions of wine,
and just pour it in there.
and I just pour it in there. What are you going to do? I mean, Chief's going to go, oh well, it's wine. It's in a cup.
Yeah.
Is he going to sit there and put a dipstick in there and see how much wine I got in there?
Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing is that this is rife for abuse, and the workload that you're going to put on the police department to, because TABC,
TABC does not work the streets.
right?
anymore.
Yeah, they're not going to walk. They're not going to walk the streets and do dip tests.
No.
Okay, so it's nice to put all this wording in there and to say, oh, we're going to do, you can only have this and you can only have that. Who's going to enforce it? The police department is already stretched thin. So, I mean, take
Some
that.
things are going to just have to be personal accountability, and then us as a city will look at if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we get rid of it.
So again,
But-
the danger of that is you're asking for personal accountability from people who are drinking alcohol, which lowers their inhibitions.
Right. And again, this is to increase foot traffic. It's not to go down. It's not a party scene. No one's going down there to party and get wild. It's not spring break.
whatever.
I
It's-
understand that to quote a line from an old song, good intentions pave the way to hell.
Thank you,
All right,
sir.
well, thank you.
I just want to speak that if you're somebody that has addiction problems or anything like that, you're going to find any time. You're not going to.
It doesn't matter if it's 12 to 6.
It is personal responsibility, and I have addiction in my family, so I'm not speaking out of nowhere.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else wish to speak?
I think we've got a lot of research to do, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Good start.
Do our research and see what happens with it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone,
Thank
for
you,
your
everybody.
input.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna move into the consent agenda, and it'll be approval of the following meeting minutes, September 15th, 2025.
Wait, let's bring Lulu back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, glad somebody caught that, I would've kept going.
She probably thinks we already forgot her.
I forgot she was gone.
We can probably still do the minutes.
Yeah, I'll read it all over again. I forgot you were gone, I started reading way over.
We almost didn't.
Okay, now we're going to approval of the following meeting minutes. September 15th, 2025, October 6th, 2025, October 20th, 2025, and December 1st, 2025. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the following meeting minutes. Regular meeting minutes, September 15, 2025, October 6, 2025, October 20th, 2025, December 1st, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll move into action items. And the first item will be consider and act to reschedule the January 19th, 2026 regular city council meeting to Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 due to a city holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to reschedule the January 19, 2026 regular city council meeting to Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 due to a city holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving right along, we're going to consider and approve the city to hold an online auction through Renee Bates Auctioneers to sell old, broken, or unused city property and destroy any unsold or designated for destruction items. And do we have a... Oh, go ahead.
With y'all's wishes and with the direction of, sorry about that. With the direction of the city manager, I had David Offwalter head up getting everything put together for an upcoming auction. And we're asking for y'all's approval to be able to have this auction. He's here tonight if y'all have any questions about items that are going to be auctioned or any type of situation like that. David, do we have a list of all this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's it?
Mayor Council, yeah, it should be on the.
I can see every one of them.
I'm glad you can.
It's in it.
I tried
Where's
to
your
set the
tablet?
computer, I couldn't.
I don't have it.
It's on.
Do you want my computer?
Are there any items on that list that are expired that would put somebody at harm if sold?
Expired.
No.
I can really only
equipment.
speak for the police IT items. Every department submitted their own items that they have. They should be items that are no longer used or surplused. I can't speak for the safety of the items though.
I don't see anything like that. What you're talking about,
Like
safety devices or
Vests, anything like that,
Oh, no.
that has an
No.
expiration date
No.
that
there's
should
no-
not be sold.
No.
It's
Like perishable goods or something?
Yeah.
Is that what
No,
you-
Yes.
I'm talking like a police
We've got
vest, something that has an
We
expiration
would
date.
not put, we would not
That
put police
should
vests
not
in
be,
in
I
an
know
auction.
during the last city council, it was wanted to donate vests that will no longer be used, that were actually expired.
Yes, if we do that with the vest, then we'll come in and what we'll probably do, knowing about how the feelings are about donating to those things to, like tribal police or something like that, we just ask for approval to destroy them, and we would destroy them.
Okay.
Good, thank you. Yes, sir.
Chief, is the old boat for the harbor, is it on there?
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
the one, is that the 2017?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It in the trailer. It's under the marine lot, PD Marine 1, I think.
Okay.
And I don't think the old pumper truck's on there, is it? But I didn't see it unless I missed it.
The fire truck?
Yeah.
There's a Spartan engine, what's that?
That's it.
That's it, Spartan engine?
Yeah.
It's on here.
It's on there.
Is that the, like, where did he go?
That's the only thing I had questions about, because I don't see
Okay.
us
That is it?
getting anything for that truck going through an
Well,
auction.
don't say that.
I mean, you're not, that's true.
It's
I
worth,
believe it's on there.
Yeah.
You get into the fire department lot.
I don't know if it'd be worth looking, maybe going through some type of consultant or something selling that truck. I
I
mean,
just didn't know what everything was exactly, but it's not any.
most of those fire engines go through, you don't get hardly anything for them.
Is it possible to postpone this till the next meeting so we can have a chance to actually see a physical copy of this, so we can go through and make some notes of what we have questions
No,
for
it's in
and
our agenda.
reassess it in
Yeah,
2
yeah,
weeks?
there's nothing set. I don't set the auction until it's approved by council, so nothing's set in stone. And they're pretty flexible, so as soon as you approve it, I can then have it go live.
I mean, I would like to just sit and go through it and question mark what we have questions are, then let you tell us what they are before we say yes, and we don't really know what we're saying yes to.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make a motion to postpone.
Okay,
Fine.
and we'll get each one of you a hard copy of the list so you could take a better look at it.
Okay, I want to make a motion to postpone the consideration to hold an auction through Renee Bates Auctioneer to sell old, broken, or unused city property and destroy any unused or designated for destruction items, pending thorough evaluation by city council, making notes and asking questions in the next city council meeting.
Okay.
A second. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay, we got a motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna consider and act to amend the Economic Development Services Agreement with Kalen Paxson.
Yes. The council approved an agreement with Kaylin Paxson as the city's economic development consultant last month. Ms. Paxton is now requesting a monthly phone allowance of $60 and a monthly car allowance of $500. The MDD did take action to approve to fund the position, you know, or the consultant services. The phone allowance and car allowance was not part of that, which is why it's coming to council as an amendment to the agreement. But it would come out to about $6,700 annually.
Okay.
Do we have it in the budget?
No, ma'am, it was not budgeted. It would have to come out of our general fund. What I do plan is to go to the MDD at a future meeting to see if the MDD would consider funding the phone allowance and the car allowance for Mrs. Paxson. And if not, then it would come out of our general fund.
Okay, the $500 a month, is that standard for the industry?
That is, I know that there is, as some of our directors do receive a car allowance, which is about $500.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to amend the economic development agreement with Kalen Paxson by increasing the amount by $6,720 annually, paid in equal payments of $560 monthly.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna move into executive session. And
Mayor, for the record, the executive session item number 9.1, the one regarding Gulfstream Ice, they have withdrawn their request, so that will not be considered today. It's being withdrawn from the agenda.
okay, thank you. Okay.
Permanently or just?
Permanently.
Permanently.
Okay.
Okay, with
Well, that's
that,
been a good one.
we have a potential Con Brown Harbor lease for Pook's Pub. We also have a Con Brown Harbor lease, Justin Chandler and Byron Backus, 508 and a half Bigelow, full address. A new Con Brown Harbor lease for Justin Chandler, 508 Bigelow, and Con Brown Harbor lease, Captain Bait Shack, and it is 724. Okay, we're gonna reconvene in open session, and it is 9:29. And, let's see, we're gonna take action. Let me
I
find it.
have. I can start with, I'm gonna make a motion to approve a letter of intent to the Com Brown Harbor lease for 300 linear feet to Pook's Pub.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
And then I'm gonna make a motion to approve a 25-year lease with a 1-year option lease to the bait shack as agreed to by the parties with the addition of a spouse and 2 adult children to the lease.
1 year or 25?
125.
A 25-year lease with a 1-year option lease to the bait
1
shack
year,
as
No.
agreed to.
Should be a 25-year option.
25-year
Yeah,
option.
with an additional 25-year
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve a 25-year lease with a 25-year option lease to the bait shack as agreed to by the parties with the addition of a spouse and 2 adult children to the lease.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next one.
I make a motion to approve the removal of Brian Bacchus from the Justin Chandler lease at 508 and a half Bigelow.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, last one.
I make a motion to approve granting a Con Brown Harbor lease to Justin Chandler for property at 508 Bigelow for a primary 25-year lease term with 2 25-year options as agreed to by the parties.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Well, I
And
couldn't even
with
talk
that being
anyway.
said,
Mine wasn't.
Meeting adjourned.
Let's go.
It's off anyway.
Let's go smoke. You got to stand outside. I got smoke. You can stay here with me while I puff this beanie.